the dragons, Heather here, and welcome to my never-ending TBR. Happy 2026! When I'm filming this, it is the 1st of January. Hopefully you guys are seeing this on January 4th. Are you all excited for 2026? Like, what are your goals, your ambitions? What book are you planning to read first in January? I've already started mine, and I think it's going to be 5 stars. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But this is going to be my 2026 reading goals, my January TBR, my Winterween TBR, my winter TBR, and also I didn't want to do a 26 books in 2026, but I have books that I'm really excited for that are a priority, and so I need to get to them. And those I'm going to rapid fire. I'm not going to talk about them much because they might actually end up on official TBRs later. But just so you know kind of what to look forward to me reading this year. Let's go over my reading goals. They're very similar to last year. I just replaced one thing. Instead of reading 12 books published in the 1980s, I have swapped that out. The reading goals is to catch up, finish, DNF at least 26 series. I have many series, and thankfully I surpassed this goal in 2025. Then I want to read 12 special editions, whether that's Illumicrate, LitJoy, any of the bookish boxes that I have received that are ones that I didn't necessarily pick for myself that were sent to me. Well, no, I take that back. Basically, any bookish box subscription special editions count for this. Except for Allurial. Allurial will go with Book of the Month and Aardvark, because Allurial is part of Book of the Month. But yes, so the special editions are basically LitJoy, Fairy Loot, Illumicrate. I don't think I have any bookish box ones left, but if I do, it would be those. If I get an Outcrate book, any of those I consider my special editions. I don't do the normal ones that are released in the store. They are special editions, but I'm not counting them as special editions for this goal here. The point of this is to try to read the books that I'm getting from my book boxes. And then another goal is to read 12 Aardvark, Book of the Month, or Allurial books. I completed those last year as well. To read 12 Christian books throughout the year, so hopefully one a month. And that is replacing reading 12 books published in the 1980s. I failed that last year. I think I got up to June or July, and I had DNF'd 2 books already. So I was already behind. I told this to my husband. I feel like a lot of the books that were well known in the 80s were written by men, and I prefer books written by women. And so I kind of want to do some more research, curate a list of 12 books published in the 1980s that I think I'm actually going to really enjoy, that have a higher chance of being good reads than just trying to choose popular books during that time. I got rid of that and I decided to replace it with Christian books. And then my final goal is to read 12 classics. Again, it was the same goal as last year, and I also completed that goal. So the one I failed, I replaced. I figure that goal was not for me. Let's try something else. So yes, those are all my reading goals. Also my reading goal for the year is to read 300 books, which I read exactly 300 books in 2025, so I think I can do it again. Let me tell you though, I was 80-ish books short at the beginning of December. I read a lot of manga, which was good because I didn't read that much manga throughout the year, so I read a whole bunch of manga series in December, which was great. Let's do our Winterween TBR first, because most of my January TBR is my Winterween. I guess kind of this is another goal, but it's not a requirement. I don't really want to have more than 10 books on my solidified TBR. I can have oh, well, these are my winter books I want to read. These are the books that are on high demand, but I only want 10 on my official list to check off, if that makes sense. Because before I had 16, 17, I had a whole bunch of books, plus I didn't finish the TBR from before, so then I was trying to catch up, and I didn't complete all of my TBRs. All the books that I put on a TBR in 2025 did not get completed. And I think that was just because I was putting too much on myself, and I need to mood read a little bit more instead of being oh, I want to read this. No, you need to stick to your goals and whatever readathons you have. And if there's a book that you really want to read, but other than that, everything else needs to be whatever you're feeling type of thing. Because most of my TBR, or half of my TBR, is my Winterween, let's do that first. And some of these will also cover my reading goals too. All right, so Winterween in 2026 will be from January 9th to January 15th. And there are 5 reading prompts. First reading prompt is to read a book in the dark. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to pick a really short one. So this is The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. This does have other tales in it, but I'm only going to be reading Sleepy Hollow. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow is about 40 pages long. So not too short, not too long. And it's the first story in here. So I will just be reading that one in here. And this will also be my classic. We'll be able to tick off one already for the year. Oh, and Legend of Sleepy Hollow is about, at least, here's the thing. I've only seen the movie with Johnny Depp. I haven't actually read the book. But to my knowledge, it's about this guy named Ichabod who I think is in love with Katrina Van Castle, and then the town is being haunted by the Headless Horseman, and I think he tries to kill Ichabod, or he does kill other people. I haven't read the actual text, so that's why I really want to get this read. The second prompt is to read a horror or thriller book. I will be reading The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. This is a pretty special edition I got off of Blackwell, so I think it's a UK edition. It's so cute and tiny. Like this, I almost feel like I can read this in like one sitting. But this is a compelling and white-knuckled horror novel that you won't be able to put down. And it's compared to Pan's Labyrinth by Guillermo del Toro. Our third prompt is read a book with red on the cover. This is more maroon, but maroon's a shade of red. This is Darkest at Dusk by Eve Silver. I believe this is a gothic romance. I think I got this back in October or November, and I wanted to read it then, and I wasn't able to get to it, again, because my TBRs were out of control. But this is about Isabella who sees ghosts, but the dead aren't always the ones watching her. Left penniless and alone after her father's sudden death, Isabella accepts a position at Harrogate Manor, an isolated estate shrouded in secrets and sorrow. Whispers stalk the halls, icy fingers graze her skin, and shadowed figures watch her from the dark. The spirits want something from her, and their intentions are growing darker. Her new employer, the enigmatic Rhys Caradoc, is a man forged of silence and secrets. He claims to need her help cataloging his rare book collection, but Isabella soon realizes he knows far more about her gift and her past than he should. As the line between the living and the dead begins to blur, and Harrogate's buried horrors claw their way to the surface, Isabella must decide if Rhys is her protector or something far more dangerous. And it says this is for readers who crave haunted manors, brooding heroes, slow burn desire, and chilling ghostly mysteries. And this is a standalone historical gothic romance that will leave you breathless. I love me my gothic romance, and I'm hoping this is good. Then this book here is for prompt 4, but it's also because the sequel to this comes out on January 27th. And I want to read it to see if I want to purchase the sequel. So I was like, oh yeah, just flop it onto this readathon here. The fourth prompt is to read a book with vampires. I have chosen The Last Raven by Helen Glynn Jones. I believe this is about a human in a world ruled by vampires. And she kind of has to like hide that fact. And then Kyle enters her closed off existence. And she sees a way out of her situation. And she has to decide whether to leave everyone she loves behind or stay and accept her destiny. Human in the vampire world. Sounds kind of good. And I'm a sucker for pretty much anything with vampires in it. So I'm hoping this is good. But yeah, the sequel to this is... Did I not put it on here? I didn't put it on that thing because I don't know if I'm going to buy it or not. The Raven's Court. So yes, that sequel is coming out January 27th. Alright, and then the fifth and final prompt is to read a 2025 release that you never got to. So that is Zom Rom-Com by Olivia Dad. This one sounded so funny. This is another one I really wanted to read in like October, November time, but I didn't get to it. Apparently there's a zombie outbreak and our main girl character teams up with her next door neighbor, who is a vampire, to fight the zombies. So this sounds like it's going to be just a lot of fun and silliness, and I need a good fun time. You know, especially with all of this horror, like more dark stuff I'm going to be reading. This sounds like it's going to be a fun time. So those are all the books I'm reading for Winterween. I'm super excited. Let me know if you're participating. I will also leave a link to the announcement down below in case you wanted to join. It was created by Gabby Reads and it's on Instagram. My most anticipated new release, for January is The Elsewhere Express by Samantha Soto Yambao. This is the same author who did Watermoon. I love that book. It's one of my favorites of 2025. I was like, I don't know if that one's my favorite, or Nocticadia, or Stalking the Unicorn, also Servant of Earth. I had some really good 5-star books in 2025. And as soon as I found out that she was coming out with another book, and this is kind of like a magical train, and it's a limited edition. The first edition of it is going to be limited with, I think it has like luggage or something down on the sprayed edges. It looks gorgeous. And I'm super excited. It comes out January 20th, so you bet your bottom dollar I will be there on January 20th at Barnes & Noble to get this book so I can read it, because I am super excited. Then I had this as a potential on my December 2025 TBR, but I actually read enough books for the Aardvark Book of the Month Allurial books. So I'm just carrying this over to January, and this will be for that goal. And this imagines the future of a big tech and its ambitions, but at heart this bold inventive novel is a love story, a romance of repressed longings, class conflicts, and unruly desires. I am super excited for this book, and I am looking forward to reading it. This is going to be for my special editions prompt. This is the Fairy Loot Romantasy book for, was it September, October, I think? And I have to read this one by January 8th. Because the sequel, Light Wielder, the pre-order is going up on the Fairy Loot website, and I need to know if I want to order it or not. This is the first in a romantasy duology. It's full of seafaring adventure, knife fights, witty banter, and slow burn tension. And I heard the ending of this is crazy. Another reason I haven't really rushed to read it is because if it does end on like a really crazy cliffhanger, I don't want to have to sit. I mean, I'm going to have to sit for months because Fairy Loot takes forever to release books. But not as long as like if you read this before now, you know? So I'm excited to read this one. My Christian book is going to be A Midnight Dance by Joanna Davidson Politano. This is a gothic Christian romance about a ballerina who is at this theater, and there is this tragic story of the ghost of Craven Street. And she ends up meeting this guy, and there's like, I think, like a romance. She can't deny the uncanny feeling that her life is mirroring that of the ghostly ballerina. Is she dancing ever closer to the edge of her own disastrous end, or will the secrets that are about to come to light offer release from the unyielding grip of the past? This sounds really, really good. I'm really excited, and I will be starting to read this one tomorrow. Those are all of my, for sure, on my list. They must be read to check off my list here. Yes, I got this new plan, or it's a reading tracker by Novelly Yours. So it literally just logs like stuff. Let's talk about carryovers. I got the audiobook for Under the Oak Tree Volume 1. I still have not listened to any more of it. I do have a lot of stuff to do tomorrow for work, so I might be able to finish listening to that then. Or the audiobook for this is finally coming sometime in January. Because last time I looked, which was a few weeks ago, it said I had like 2 weeks left to wait. Hopefully, I will be getting this soon so I can listen to it. Those are the 2 audiobooks that I'm planning on for this month. There's also, Ali Hazelwood came out with one called like Bound. I think it's like an Audible exclusive or something. So if I need more, I might also listen to that one. Or if for some reason I don't get this one, then there are options for my audiobooks. I am still working on Heavenly Bodies by Imani Eru. I haven't gotten any further. I'm still on page 107. My TBR is a lot less this month, so I might be able to get back to this one. I've started reading Alchemized by Sen Li Yu. I am currently on chapter 9, which is page 129. And I think I'm just going to read like a chapter a day because this is a brick. This is over 1,000 pages. It's also apparently dark and heavy. It talks a lot about war, which a lot of times makes me very upset and angry. So I just don't want to get too emotional. I figure reading a chapter a day would be more enjoyable and not as heavy. And then say if I get down to like where I have like 200 or 300 pages left and I'm really enjoying it and I finish my TBR for the month, then I might just go ahead and like finish it all up. But if I keep on reading it like only a chapter a day, it's probably going to run into February. This is my first physical read of January, and I am loving this, y'all. So this is Endless Anger by Sav R. Miller. It's the Monsters Within, book 1. I talk about this when I haul the second book in my January book haul. Basically, this is kind of like Nocticadia and the Isle of Sin and Shadows by Carrie Lake, mixed with Sophie Lake's and Rena Kent's The Kingmakers and The Gods of Legacy. So it like has that very like mafia feel, but make it Carrie Lake with like some dark occult type stuff. Is what I'm guessing. It's what I'm feeling. I'm currently 120 pages in. I literally read all 120 pages yesterday. After I finished my reading goal for 2025, I literally did not want to put this down. It was so good. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get started. And I was, no, I must read it. I can't wait because once we're done filming, I'm also going to be reading this some more. But this is a Friends to Lover. We have Asher and Lucy, and they've been like basically inseparable. And something happens when they're 18 or 19 that kind of separates them, and they like stop seeing each other. They've gone like years. And like he's dropped in like every so often around her birthday. But their relationship's a little dicey now. There is this school called Avernia, I think is what it's called. And apparently, Asher's family is linked to this dark history of this school, which is like a university college. And they're not welcome in the town where this school is. Well, his sister has gone there for years. We know something has happened, but we don't know what. And one time, him and his other sister went to like visit the college for like Parents' Day, and he gets attacked and almost murdered, but like kills the person instead. And he's only 14 years old. And then it seems like his sister also got attacked that day too. So for some reason, the people in this town, or the people in one of these societies, there's 4 different societies, are out to get this family. They're not welcome there. And his best friend Lucy wants to go to this college, and she actually ends up going, which causes this rift in their relationship because he can't tell her what's going on. But it's so good. The writing's so good. I love being in, especially Asher's head, because it's almost like this forbidden romance element too, even though there's no reason for there to be forbidden together. It's a him problem making it forbidden. But yeah, it's so good, and I think it's going to be a 5-star. Like, it'll be great to start off the year with a 5-star read, let me tell you. Those are carryovers, Winterween, January TBR. Let's go over the winter TBR. So these are basically books that I want to get read in either January and or February. Before the end of February, I want these to be read. We've got this new release called The Cuffing Game by Lila Lee. This is like a reimagining of Pride and Prejudice set in reality TV. And it's a YA book. This looks so cute. It's so wintry looking, and I'm really excited for this one. Then Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This is a hockey romance. Like, when else would I want to read this except during the wintertime, right? It's funny because I'm actually reading this backwards. This is the first book. Wildfire is the second, and Daydream is the third. I read Daydream first, then I read Wildfire in the summertime, and now I'm reading Icebreaker. But again, beautiful, wintry book. This is about a figure skater and a hockey player and their little romance. And I've heard it's super spicy, so I might be skipping a lot, because if there's too much, Heather gets bored. So, those were talking in third person. I get bored if there's too much. Then, this one here, I don't know if it is like a wintry read, but it gives me winter, like with the ice. And I believe this is like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so I'm guessing there's going to be snow. This is A Curse of Shadows and Ice by Katerina Mara. It's his curse to bear, and she's his salvation. A deliciously seductive Beauty and the Beast retelling about a cursed emperor living in shadows, a kingdom frozen and dying, and the princess who could set them all free. So yeah, that gives me winter vibes, so I want to read this one. Then A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. This is part of the Lancaster Prep series, I believe. Yes, it's part of the Lancaster Prep series. And I think this is like new adult, but this makes it seem like it is a winter. Like there's snow in the background. Because of this picture here, this makes me think it is winter. But on the back it says, it's been 3 years, 4 months, 2 days, and a handful of hours since the first moment I set eyes on her. So I'm guessing this is going to be a man obsessed with another girl. I don't know if this is high school or if it's college, but I'm getting the feeling if it is YA, it's upper YA. You know what I'm saying? And then the final winter book I want to read is The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. I was actually planning to read this in September of last year, but then I heard this is like a very wintry setting, and I was just like, well, I gotta save it for the winter time then, because I mean, look at the snow. It's a sequel to The Spell Shop, but I don't think you have to like read them in order. It's like an interconnected sequel type of thing. Yeah, new standalone cozy fantasy set in the world of The Spell Shop. Funny, kind, and forgiving, The Enchanted Greenhouse is a story about giving second chances to others and to yourself. I believe this follows the librarian who was turned into wood that was talked about in The Spell Shop. She ends up at this enchanted greenhouse, and then I think there's a romance between her and like the gardener there or something like that. So I'm really excited for this one. Alright, so winter TBR, check, done. So the last thing, these, again, rapid fire. I'm not going to tell you what these are about because they're probably going to come out later, but I just want to mention them because these are like high on my list. These are like my focus books for 2026. We have Starling by Isabel Streichak. These are both by Mary DiStefano, so I'm going to hold them up together. The Night We Made Monsters and Shade. The rest of the series of Cressley Cole's The Arcana Chronicles, but specifically I want to get Day Zero and Arcana Rising finished next. Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair. The Curator by Owen King. I want to catch up with the rest of this series, but specifically Daisy Hates the Great Undoing by Jessa Hastings. Music and Mirrors by Celine Gingjin. Princess of Blood by Sarah Hawley, made by Ali Hazelwood. This is the last physical copy of her books that I need to read. Then we have Grim and Oro and Crown Tide by Alex Astor. To Say Nothing of the Dog by Connie Willis. This was actually a rec by my coworker Kelly. This is her favorite book, and I'm going to touch on it a little bit. It is a time travel mystery that actually sounds like something I'm really, really going to like. Then The Master of Dreams by Mike Resnick. This is by the same author who did the Stalking the Unicorn, which I gave 5 stars to in 2025 and absolutely loved. And this sounds like it kind of has like the same kind of magical realism, absurdism that book had. Then Once Upon a Tome by Oliver Darkshire. This is another rec. This is from my mother-in-law, and this is apparently supposed to be a memoir about this bookseller in London, and like things that he experienced in this, like, I think it's like a rare collections type store. Now, I don't know if this is all actually true or if it's exaggerated because it talks about like a ghost and different stuff like that. It just kind of sounds like it might be a little exaggerated. You know what I'm saying? But I want to give that one a read. And then, don't judge me. Don't judge me. I still need to read Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I have been wanting to read this book for over a year. But it's like huge. Well, it's not that big. It's a little over 600 pages. And for some reason, I have just never been like, yes, I'm going to read that. I even like one day was like going through and I was having like I was like, oh, I'm in a mood for something. I can't figure out what. And I read the first page. I was like, oh, this sounds really good. But I'm not in the mood for it right now. I need to read Quicksilver this year because Brimstone already came out. I did get Brimstone. I have a feeling I'm going to love this. This is like one of these things where like I'm putting it off, and by the time I read it, I'm going to be like kicking myself because it's probably going to be like a new favorite book. Because I end up doing stuff like that. I'll like read these books, I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be 5 stars, and then I give it like 3 stars. I'm like, meh. And then these books that I hold off on, or then I'm like, oh, you know, maybe if I have time, you know, then I pick it up randomly and I'm like, what was I doing with my life? Why did I not think that this was going to be amazing? So I think this is going to be amazing, but for some reason I'm still holding off, and I don't know why. Maybe because I don't want to be disappointed. So then the very last thing we need to go over is all of the new releases that I may potentially be getting. Let's see, The Story We Wrote is a new, like, cowboy romance, which I generally am not into cowboy romance, but this, I can't remember if the main girl character works in a library or is writing a book, or she has something to do. She's bookish, okay? And the book cover is beautiful. I'll put it up here. So I want to give this one a try, okay? Cowboys really aren't for me, but we'll see. Hollow, this is a vampire book. That's all I remember. And it comes out January 13th. Then Origin comes out January 6th. This is by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and it's part of her like teen alien romance series, which many years ago I read the first book and gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I continued buying the paperbacks and never read any more of them. And then now the special editions are coming out and I'm buying those. But have I continued reading the series yet? No, I haven't. Don't know when I will. but I still remember fondly the first book giving it 5 stars, and it's set in West Virginia, where I grew up, where Jennifer L. Armentrout lives. So it's like, why? I don't know. Then we have Graceless Heart by Isabel Ibanez, coming out January 13th. This, I believe, is her adult debut, and it's supposed to be in the adult fairy loot box, which I don't have. And this isn't coming out in a special edition. So I don't think I'm going to buy this on the 13th. I think I'm going to wait to see what the fairy loot special edition looks like, and then maybe buy it secondhand that way. But I do really want to get this because I've liked all of her books. Like, I don't think I've given any of her books 5 stars yet, but I've enjoyed all of her books. Then these next 2 I may get. They're the first in a new series, but I'm trying to like cut down on buying so many books unless the books are absolutely gorgeous or they're by authors that I already know and love. So these, I mean, technically I've read books by both of these authors, but I wouldn't say that I love them. I enjoy them. So the first one is Rings of Fate by Melissa De La Cruz, and I heard someone compare this to The Princess Bride, which I do love The Princess Bride. I do love that. That's a buzzword for me. This comes out on January 6th. Was it? I think Book of the Month has a special edition of this, and they're having like a normal special edition that comes out. But like, it's not super pretty. I'm torn about whether I should get it or not. I want to see it in person and then decide. Otherwise, I'll just get it on Kindle. Dragon Curse by Lise Kova. This one is coming out also on January 6th. And it has the first edition as a special edition. Again, I want to see it in person and see what it looks like, because I think most of her books I've given like 3 stars. So we'll see about that one. The Mistake in the Score by L. Kennedy. The pretty special editions are coming out. I'm definitely going to be getting those. Those are coming out on the 13th. Next in Line by Amy Dow, I believe, is coming out January 27th. And that is like a romance. The Keeper of Stars is coming out January 13th. This is a new author, but the book sounded amazing, and I can't remember exactly what it was about now, but I just remember reading the synopsis and going, oh my goodness, that sounds beautiful, and I think I'm going to cry. It's special in the fact that it has sprayed edges, but it's not like super special, but it's a beautiful book. Then The Poisoner comes out January 13th. This is going to be a special paperback edition, and it's set, I believe, in Victorian London. And then the sequel's coming out in February or March, so I'm going to have to read it pretty quickly to see if I want to continue the series. But I've heard great things about this one, especially if you like Gothic literature. And then the last one on my list, which I will definitely be getting, is Through Gates of Garnet and Gold, which is coming out January 6th. And this is the next book in the Wayward Children series by Shawnee McGuire. And depending on when I buy that book, I might also read that one in January, because they're little novellas, essentially. They're all like under 200 pages generally. So yeah, that is everything that I plan on reading in January, February, throughout the year, the books I'm looking at purchasing. So yeah, let me know what's on your January TBR. Are you taking place in any readathons? Or do you know of any upcoming readathons that I might be interested in? Because I think Jade usually does Polarthon, but I haven't heard anything about that yet, so I don't know if that's happening. Now, if I don't have a readathon next month, we will be randomizing and picking like 5 books of series to continue, because I really need to focus on catching up to these series and finishing. I have a new idea of how to do my cart, which, I mean, I technically have more books than can fit on the cart, because I have 2 piles over here. I have books down here. I have books on both sides of the cart, and I think I have some books over here too. So like, I have a lot of series I'm in the middle of that I really need to focus on squashing those down. But if you know of any readathons, I'm always open to a good readathon. I hope and pray that we all have a great 2026. I hope it's starting off good, great, wonderful. Yes, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful good day or night, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!